God is on a mission. You're a part of that mission. And your mission focus will determine the circumstances of your life. In God's universe, circumstances are shaped by mission, by His mission. In God's universe, circumstances gather around God's mission the way iron filings might gather around a magnet. As I look back on my own life and see those points that I pointed, those times when I pointed out to you, I can see how things would come up and people would come forward and help me and help us, and things that seemed like they were very bad news ended up being good news because they changed the trajectory that we were on. Your mission focus will determine the circumstances of your life. Let's think about what Paul says here. He had just got done telling them, God tells me I need to appear before Caesar, and so now all of you are okay. This whole team is going to be fine. But then we have some that were being disobedient. They decided it was time for some self-preservation. They're going to take the longboat, get in the water themselves, and get to shore because they were afraid they were going to crash and die. So Paul says to the soldiers, look, I was right about Crete, wasn't I? You need to believe me now. If these leave, you guys won't be saved. Let me translate. The purpose of the team being kept alive is because it's a team that works together in an integral fashion. If part of the team is gone, then the hand of God that preserved the team is lifted. Sorry. Now he doesn't say, I won't be saved. Paul doesn't say, I won't be saved. He says, you won't be saved. Now I admit that in this situation the stakes were very high, and so obedience was a matter of life and death. And I admit that with all of us the stakes probably aren't so high, and perhaps disobedience is not necessarily a matter of life and death in the same way. But hear me on this. One of the reasons we all should cleanse our hearts before God and seek to be close to Him is so that we can focus on the mission portion of our lives, especially in the current climate that we live in. Have you seen the news? Have you been to work? Have you lost your job? We're in a storm. And the temptation during a storm is to turn away from the things of God and to decide that we're going to concentrate on some self-preservation. Don't do it. Do just the opposite. What I'm teaching you this morning is the further explanation of what Jesus said. Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. That's not just a reward. That's not just a loving Father taking care of His own. No, it's also what I've been explaining, that the way God's universe works, the circumstances of our lives gather themselves around the mission of God. So if you seek first the kingdom of God, the other things will gather themselves around that mission. If we're in a storm, the thing to do is not to decide we're going to concentrate on self-preservation. No, Jesus said if you seek to gain your life, you're going to lose it. You seek to lose your life, you're going to gain it. And Paul tells us later that in Romans 8:28, that God has the ability to make all things work together for good. See, this is what I'm explaining. Work together for good to those who love God, who are called according to His purpose, who are on the mission. The thing to do in a storm is to start focusing on the mission. And the rest will take care of itself.